Dr. Fauci says he's retiring in 2 years, but not before he says he has some unfinished business. He wants to take a retirement tour, if you will, the Fauci farewell tour, to be filled with glowing articles about his public service, like the one from Politico today, saying Anthony Fauci wants to put COVID politicalization behind him. That's like a profile piece of Tony the Tiger and him saying, I want to put my Frosted Flakes legacy behind me and focus on health foods. But put that just aside for 1 second. There's now a bigger issue in America, one that we have to talk about, a new pandemic. And the problem is nobody trusts the CDC or NIH because they are now all political. Here's Dr. Scott Gottlieb now talking about the CDC and monkeypox.
I think at this point we've failed to contain this. We're now at the cusp of this becoming an endemic virus where this now becomes something that's persistent that we need to continue to deal with. I think the window for getting control of this and containing it probably has closed. And if it hasn't closed, it's certainly starting to close.
That's what the CDC and the NIH are supposed to do. At the beginning, nobody would talk about monkeypox and the outbreak because it involved mostly gay men at raves. That's not the case anymore. Again, this is why nobody trusts the CDC. Dr. Tracy Hoeg, MD, PhD in epidemiology and public health, joining us now, who's written about this. Feels really like we're in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Dr. McCary and I wrote this piece. And because, our officials, physicians and scientists at the CDC, NIH, FDA, the ones that are still there that have not quit, they feel like they're in a position where if they speak out against the dominant narrative, that they could risk losing their jobs. And, we're seeing more and more, we saw with the COVID epidemic, that, mitigations that potentially have been harmful to children, such as prolonged school closures, masking without evidence, now approving vaccines for infants and toddlers on the basis of very poor evidence. And these are, things that have been harmful, can be harmful to children, and physicians and scientists need to speak out, need to be able to do that.
We got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? That we were in scary times and people made the best decisions they could at the time. Although in order to gain trust, you got to be willing to admit you were wrong or the actual science has changed once it's proven that way. This is Scott Gottlieb on the White House's response now to what's happening with monkeypox.
The White House has intervened to take more control of the response away from CDC. This can't be our response every time, that when CDC drops the ball, the White House and the political leadership need to step in. That's what's happened here. It happened in COVID. We need to fundamentally reform how we respond to these crises.
The crisis we're in right now with monkeypox from Politico. I don't think there's anything else that I, Tony Fauci, can do except leave behind an institution where I picked the best people in the country, if not the world, who will continue my vision. Let's look forward, not back. What is going to happen with the CDC and the NIH now in monkeypox, and are we at a position to be able to deal with it, having learned the lessons from COVID?
I'm afraid that we're not in a position to be able to deal with it because we haven't made reforms in the NIH where we're able to do research quickly enough to determine, how to exactly to curb the spread of it. And I think also, we need scientists and leaders who are willing to speak up, despite whatever the political belief may be at the time, and say, these are the high risk groups. This is how we are going to, this is who we need to target to, vaccines to and prevention measures to. And, we need our scientists to speak up without fear of repercussions. And so I'm afraid we're going to see the same patterns that we saw with COVID, where scientists are being silenced rather than allowed to speak on behalf of the people of the United States.
Yeah, and to be able to speak on the behalf of science, as I now spilled my coffee cup, which happens occasionally. Hey, Doc, it's good to see you. Thank you for talking about this. It's a great piece you wrote, and what you guys are talking about is important.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.